This first question, why do you believe we can't kick the ball down the road another 7 years?
Yes.
The thought that I'm zeroing in on has just hit me this week
Yes.
since I've been here. And the more that I've thought about it in the last couple of days, the more I realize that this is really a profound thought of why we can't kick the ball down the road, or why we better hope we don't kick the ball down the road another 7 years. You know, a number of prophetic teachers have been, I don't want to mention any names.
No,
but
please
but
don't.
a
I'm in
lot
enough trouble.
of prophetic teachers are in agreement that the 7-year Shemitah cycle is very important, that it's going to coincide with the coming 7-year Great Tribulation. Okay, does that make sense? Okay, well, the 7-year Shemitah cycle that we're in right now is ending this September. Okay,
Yes.
we're talking weeks away.
Yes.
Literally 2.5 months, 8 weeks, 10 weeks. You know, we're down to weeks.
Yes.
And we're going to end the 7th 7-year cycle. And the year following the 7th year cycle is the year of Jubilee. Mm-hmm. It will be another 7 years before we begin another 7-year cycle. It'll be another 50 years before we begin another 50-year Jubilee. It'll be over 400 years before we see another tetrad of 4 blood moons on Jewish holy days. Mm. So it's like many prophetic teachers are saying it only makes sense that the 7-year Great Tribulation will start during the first year of the next 7-year cycle, and the beginning of that next 7-year cycle is in September. Okay?
Yes.
So it's like a number of prophetic teachers are kind of looking for a way out, and they're saying, well, if it doesn't start this coming 7-year cycle, we can just kick it down the road for another 7-year cycle. And I've been saying it really doesn't make sense that we can just keep kicking it down the road, because we've got too much converging. We not only have all of these cycles that are all coming together, but we've got in the geopolitical, in the global events, everything that's happening, the leaders of our country, I don't even want to go there, but you know what I'm talking about. You know what I mean? America is in trouble. So the thought that hit me is that if the Great Tribulation is kicked down the road for another 7 years, there are coming events that we cannot kick down the road. We are heading for a global economic collapse, and there'll be no kicking that down the road.
Yeah, you're right.
There are a number of prophets who are hearing from God, hearing from the Spirit of God, that politically unheard of events are going to happen in America in the next year or so. Yeah, I can't believe how many prophets are getting confirmations that we might not even see another presidential election. Mm-hmm. So here's the point that hit me. If the Great Tribulation is kicked down the road for another 7 years, there are catastrophic events that are going to happen globally and that are going to happen in America that we can't kick those events down the road. These things are going to be happening in weeks to months during the next year. And what this means is, if the Great Tribulation gets kicked down the road 7 years, we are going to see the breakdown of America. We're going to see changes in America like we can't almost imagine. And can you just think about us having to go through 7 years for the next 7-year Shemitah cycle? Can you imagine the breakdown of America to where we literally, you've seen the movie, many of us years ago, the Mad Max movies,
yes,
where there was just total anarchy in America?
Right.
Can you imagine if things are kicked down the road for another 7 years? We can't stop what's going to happen globally and what's going to happen in America in the next year. So that would mean we could literally see anarchy and the breakdown of America that could last for 7 years while we wait for the next 7-year Shemitah cycle. 7 years from now, if we have to wait 7 years for the Great Tribulation to start, we are in big trouble. None of us have prepared to go through 7 years before the Great Tribulation even starts. And you know, the reason I just said why I don't believe we can kick the can down the road is because, you know what the Bible says? The Bible says, I will shorten the days lest no one survives. Well, you know what?
It's going to be so bad, right? That no one would survive if God didn't shorten it.
That's right. But you see, you have to look at which days can be shortened. The 7 years can't be shortened because it's written in the Word.
That's right.
You know what I mean? All the divisions of those 7 years, you can't shorten those because it's written in the Word.
That's right.
The only thing you can shorten is the birth pains and the days of trouble that will lead to the beginning of the Great Tribulation. And you see, this is why I believe we can't kick the ball down the road. We are entering into the beginning of that 7-year cycle starting this September. And you know, there are prophets that are saying God has shown them very clearly we're going to see the beginning of an economic collapse in September. And that we will see a slow-burning economic collapse that will domino and ripple around the world in September, October, November, December.